Enzo Fernandez deadline day will a here we go happen between the player and Manchester City. Guys, you're welcome. This is Onside with me, Joshua. Hello to you. can also call me Top High Fabrizio, and I'm bringing you all the latest in the world of sports as well as the transfer market. And I'll be giving you all the stories that are making the rounds. There's a chain reaction happening in the transfer market. I'll give you that scoop very soon. But today, a transfer deadline day, for our friend Enzo Fernandez, his possible move from Chelsea to Man City. Will it happen? Enzo Maresca is pushing really hard to get the player. Obia Onina paying or Chelsea. And as it stands right now, things are getting very dicey because Chelsea says that if after 5 p.m. UK time and net went to me on 420 million pounds from Befa player now, I'm sorry, he's going nowhere because Chelsea really want to be very serious in this transfer market and try and, institute some control over, the situation so that it doesn't get out of hand. It's not Chelsea for more deadline, giving them an ultimatum into Befa player now, bring the money, 120 million pounds. We'll give the player to you. But listen, yesterday, Man City only submitted a bid of 102.5 million pounds for the player. I don't know what informed their decision to do that because they know it already. So Chelsea for an extra 120 million pounds. So if you're really serious about the player, just bring the money and take the player away. I don't know why they submitted the first bid. They knew it was going to be rejected. Chelsea for Nankasa. On that 102.5 million pound bid, Chelsea haven't spoken yet. And it's very clear. This is what we are asking for. So if you don't submit it, you don't expect us to budge. So Chelsea have not budged. But look, what is happening is that there's a chain reaction. Ferran Torres is moving from Barcelona to PSG. That deal is worth around 55 million euros. So now, if Barcelona get that money from PSG, they can top it up, go to Man City, and try and speed up the process for Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante. Because as of now, a third bid has been submitted by Barcelona to Man City. Man City wants to complete the deal around 70 million euros. That's the report. So, if that Ferran Torres deal can be finalized in total today, I'm pretty sure that fund becomes very crucial to Team IFN Air Barcelona to be able to add up and then quickly finalize that deal for Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante. That's number 2. Then, if Man City get that money, they can now top up because yesterday they also sanctioned the sale of Tierney Reinders. He's moving from Team IFN Man City to Alcatia, so they've made 61 million euros from that deal already. Then they can also make the 70 million euros from a possible sale of Rodrigo Hernandez Cascante today, if that goes through, right? So now if they get that money, finally they can go to Chelsea if the 5 p.m. deadline has not passed and then submit that 120 million pound bid for the player and try and get him now on Manchester City. So that is the chain reaction going on in the transfer market as we speak. So one deal is more or less relying on another deal going through before the other one can materialize. And that's how interesting the transfer market can be. So guys, stay tuned with me and follow me today on my social media platform, especially on Facebook, as I give you all the updates by the clock, right? I'll be telling you what is happening, and I'm pretty sure that in Central for UK and then Ben Jacobs, Mo, and all the other correspondents, Sky Cave, Solo Homo, they are going to be on standby to give us the latest. And once they give us the latest, I'll also relay that information to you. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Turn on the post notifications and also click on the all button so that anytime I'm dropping video, you'll be one of the first people to receive it. And let's grow this space into something that is going to be very, very viable for all of us to enjoy from. Guys, if you're a new viewer, thank you so much for choosing this platform. There'll be a analysis on football, transfer stories. Once the transfer window ends, we zoom into the season. I'll give you fresh analysis on the games as they come in every week and all the exclusives as well. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and for patronizing my video. I'm so grateful. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, Mr. And click the subscribe button. Just underneath the video, click on subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I'll give you all the best. Guys, let's go straight into the news because even before I go and talk about Rodri and Enzo Fernandez, there's something happening at Arsenal. Victor Osimhen. Guys, listen carefully. Victor Osimhen is back in the news because And Rebecca, who is spearheading the sporting direction for Arsenal, no, is pushing really hard to bring Victor Osimhen to Team IFN or Arsenal. Now, this is the scoop I'm gathering. Martinelli had originally been asked by Galatasaray if they could sign the player from Arsenal. And the possibility was that, yes, that deal could happen. But Andre Beta does not want to include the Martinelli possible transfer from Arsenal to Galatasaray in that Osimhen deal, because Osimhen has just emerged on the scene as a possible transfer from Team My Friend Galatasaray to Arsenal. Now, this is what Arsenal want to do. Arsenal want to try as much as possible to bring in Osimhen. And I think that tactically it's a very good fit for Abrante Efreno, Mikel Arteta, and what he wants to do with Arsenal this season. Don't forget, Arsenal are champions of England. They almost won it in Europe, but for that penalty shootout against PSG, they couldn't win the Champions League. So coming back into this season, they know that automatically they need to be competitive. So they have to push. And how do you push? You have Victor Gyökeres as your leading marksman, so to speak. But if you have Victor Gyökeres last season now, there was one thing he didn't really have. Explosiveness and directness. Osimhen has that. So, take for example, Arsenal decides to play a low block, and we already know the dark arts that Arsenal is including in their games these days. Set pieces, no crossing, no more, maybe then him. Look at the number of goals he scored from set pieces last season alone. It was a past 14, especially the ones from crosses. So I can understand that teams are going to come for Mikel Arteta and his Arsenal team. They're going to look. The Premier League, I said it already. Said this season, watch out for the mid-table class: Fulham, Everton, Brentford, Bournemouth. Watch out for them, Brighton. They're going to pounce on the champions. They're going to pounce on the big boys. So there are times where Arteta will be forced to also a low block. And in playing that low block, if you had a leading marksman in Osimhen leading the line, what it means is that you will not push, the opponents will not push all their players into the half of Arsenal. They will leave some spaces. They will also try as much as possible to also have some men track back as frequent as possible to watch Osimhen with their eyes so that he doesn't get the freedom to move. But if Arsenal get a counter attack and they leave the ball for Osimhen, Osimhen through on goal, pana. What he offers is a direct striker, a striker who just goes into space. He uses his physical dominance to shrug off the defenders. He gets into the box, shoots at goal, and he scores. Right? So that is what Osimhen offers Arsenal. And to me, that is super strategic. If Arsenal can cross this deal, get this deal to cross the line, this is going to be Arteta's transformative signing. And I even sanctioned this signing above Vinny Jr. now, they almost signed, and even above Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez, just give me some time. But just analyze what I'm talking, because look at Victor Osimhen. About 59 goals since he joined Galatasaray in 2024. So the player himself is a player who can rely on. He was linked to Chelsea a couple of years ago, I think just last year or so, or last 2 years, and Mikelobi was on record to have said, I think he wanted the player to come and join Chelsea, but for some reason, that deal couldn't materialize and he had to go to Galatasaray. So, look at the situation right now. Maybe Martinelli may move, possibly being discussed, 40 million euros is what could happen. Then there's also an Ethan Nwaneri conversation in that same structure. Say, it's likely to be free Arsenal, Galatasaray. But the main thing is that Andre Beta is keen on bringing Victor Osimhen to Arsenal for around 17 million euros. And if Arsenal manage to get this deal to cross the line, guys, I'm telling you for a fact that Arsenal instantly become extra competitive in the next season, both in the domestic league and also in Europe. And that could be the reason why they even get the chance to win the UEFA Champions League. Because a proven goal scorer, tactically you can utilize him to destabilize defenses, so that you can have some freedom to play the kind of football that you want. So this is what I'm seeing. So Osimhen linked to Arsenal. This is the scoop. This is the story. Tell me what you think about it. Arsenal fans, is it a very good deal for you? You don't commit a move. Do you think that this is what could change the fortunes of Arsenal next season, make them extra competitive, doesn't put them in very compromising situations like they found themselves, right, as of January? Now, Man City, Edia Konyaba, first and second. If Arsenal is to, extend their dominance in the Premier League through Mikel Arteta, is Osimhen the player that comes in and offers, that strategic competitiveness for Arsenal? Tell me in the comments. I would want to know. Xabi Alonso is doing something at Chelsea, guys. What he's doing is that he wants opponents to know that he's serious. So I shall offer 11 players abeka team through the transfer activities. But what he's doing with the Enzo Fernandez possible transfer to Man City is one that makes me believe that the man is in charge. So recently, Obeka Asembi, people were asking him why sign so many players. And I said, no, it's not just his decision. It's a collective decision. He has sporting directors that he's working with, right? Then he has the owners. Then the Blue Co Consortium, right? Those are the guys who are in charge of Chelsea Football Club. So if he decides to go and bring a player, maybe he has the first word. He will prove why he needs the player. He will demand certain things. Then the financial decision would rest with the owners to decide to structure the deal in such a way that it could get them to go for the player for the kind of tactical or strategic reasons why Xabi Alonso is needing the player. I think that ultimatum that Chelsea has given Man City is purely the instruction of Xabi Alonso. Because I've already told you yesterday, I've given you that scoop. I've given you the story in its totality. But you see, once Enzo Fernandez makes a decision whether to stay or to leave, it empowers Xabi Alonso's authority and precision over the kind of team he wants at Chelsea Football Club. Because if you are staying, you are with us, you are going to work fully, we are going to give you our word, you are going to play in the team. That's to Enzo Fernandez. If he leaves, no problem, you can go to Man City, but I'll get 120 million that I can go into the market with. I'll get another replacement. He may not be compared to Enzo Fernandez, but by the time the season is over, you would have seen the impact you would have made on the team. It is uncommon. Xabi Alonso, he wants to really dominate. But in dominating, you need to have a strategy. And when so him, say player no, onyaya, he will go because of that Enzo Maresca connection. And Okoman City are on struggle because imagine Awawa too. He will become crucial to them. But if he's to stay in the project, and in fact, this is something that even helps the player the more. Because it's like your coach giving you the opportunity. Do you know something? I know you have a relationship with Enzo Maresca. So I'm giving Enzo Maresca just 24 hours or 48 hours, which will expire by 5 p.m. today. If he really wants you, on the foul, and I don't have a problem, you can go. I'll get the money. I'll go and get a replacement for you, and I wish you all the best. But if you decide to stay, or if Man City cannot bring that money and come and take you away, I still have you in my plans. You'll be a very crucial player to me, and I'll get the most out of you. Look at the ingenuity of Xabi Alonso. Smartness. It's a statement. And for those who don't understand, look, coaches need to use this to cushion their teams. That is why I think that, look, what Chelsea has done, a couple more clubs will begin to do the same thing. Because then, it makes it very instructive. Man City themselves, to complete this deal. And the Chelsea want to issue ultimatum now. Okay, they will want to make sure that Rodri will leave before they will come for Enzo Fernandez. Because once Rodri stays and is not able to go, now Enzo Fernandez financial obligation on the team, it increases. So City are in a fix. Because what offer Elliot Anderson about that 116 million pounds. That's what you see. Are you bodies on the verge of joining? Okay. Then Rodri possibly he would leave. Possibly. Because already, and now Rodri, if he doesn't leave, he will commit himself, he will play the last remaining 1 year, but 3 years contract, he will not sign, which means he will leave City for free. And I don't think City will want the boy to leave for free. He's 30 years, of course, I understand. He's being priced at around 70 million euros. And that is what they are pushing Barcelona to pay. But if they are not able to close that deal, he'll go for free next year. So I'm pretty sure, say, Barcelona will omit City for to accept something around 68, 65, 65, 68, thereabout. ABN 70, 70, I think that will be okay. Barcelona will be able to pay. According to what I gathered yesterday, last night, no, Barcelona may be able to pay that money up front. And they need that money up front. City they need that money up front. So if they're able to get that money, add it to Tijani Reinders', cash in, they could now go to Chelsea and say we want the player. So they are thinking about so many things. They have so many things in their minds that is going on right now. And by 5 p.m., maybe they will not be able to even resolve that, to try and complete that deal for Abrantes friend Enzo Fernandez. So that's what's happening. That is what is happening. And you see, Xabi Alonso wants to also institute that level of, institutional clarity in Chelsea right now. Because when we say players, aside the fact that, look, he has brought in new players to work with them, he also knows very well that, look, he needs to get the best out of them. Because you look at Liam Rosini and Enzo Maresca's time now, there was one trend. Edru, maybe you could say that the Chelsea players were not really pushing themselves to work really hard. The coach after the match, didn't come on nicely, as if, but you see, the players were not really pushing themselves to the limit. Into no share, Xabi Alonso he's really pushing the players to work very hard, giving them more exercises to do in training. And on one case training, he's playing with them, he's moving with them, he's playing the football with. Look, he wants to get the team to a certain optimum level that the players can work with him. And if you're not ready to play in his team how he wants you to play, I'm sorry, you may have to exit. And those are the kind of things I'm seeing him institute in Chelsea setup this year. So look at the preseason games. He made Lavia play his first 90 minutes. He made Marco Palestra play, I think, 2 games. He played full 90 minutes. And that was where everybody saw that the player was going to be very instrumental for Chelsea next season. Go share the impact of, and you could see the work rate, the way he was pushing, forcing Palestra. That alone showed me that no, the coach really wants to, and once the season begins, you testify to what I'm saying. The work rate of the players has increased. And it's very clear. And now, one of the biggest challenges is that there are 41 players on the books. I was free, so, and he made 5 Chelsea players go and train alone. So he's not taking the Enzo Maresca kind of posture to sideline players and give them definite instructions, say, you're not part of my plans. The relative chaos is not there. So he's handling it carefully because, FIFA has a rule on squad size. And if Chelsea doesn't take definitive action on that now, it goes against them. 41 players, you can register only 25 or so. So he needs to be able to find a way to take a couple of players out, but still helping them understand that, look, your future has not been decided. Until it's decided, you cannot come back into the squad. They say, Badiashile Frim. I think will be next. Maggie Umui now will be next. David Atrofofana and Nicolas Jackson possibly. Liam Delap. And other youngsters who may have to also go on loan. So the dynamics at Chelsea, keep your eyes on the ground. I'll give you more updates in the coming days. Guys, Malo Gusto, yesterday I told you that he was being priced at £71 million. And the Chelsea football bet just said they may have to lower that price if it's possible for Malo Gusto to leave. So Malo Gusto himself is also a possibility to leave Chelsea. But £75 million ain't a realistic figure. Say Chelsea for being for the player. They won't get that money. They won't. So they have to lower it. And in lowering it, it has to come to around 40, 35. And I said it yesterday. But today the player has been linked to Liverpool. So I'll give you all the updates. Possibly what could happen. Now, Diego Simeone says that Julian Alvarez will not be sold to Barcelona, and they've made it clear to the player. Samuel Kaya maybe a train. Atletico Madrid went to report Barcelona to a La Liga for and say, look, the behavior of Barcelona towards our player is unacceptable. If you needed a player, come through the official channel. We have stipulated in his contract, said there's a buyout clause of 500 million euros. Trigger it or nothing. Or sit with us at the conversation table. We can find a way to solve the problem. But Barcelona for any player could come out, trying to convince the player to put up certain behaviors. Maybe not directly, but if you express interest in the player and you want the player to come and play for you, whatever you want the player to do, the player will also go and do it. Into Julian Alvarez or free vacation by he went to a Pennyphone and expressed his displeasure. On the first day of training, reportedly, Simeone was not around And the officials he wanted to speak to were not around, so that exasperated him the more. And he's on record to have said, say, he wants to leave and he wants to meet them and have that discussion in quite an angry manner, to the extent, say, in training, even he was wide apart from his teammates who were not happy about the kind of push Abrante Nafa. It's the influence of Barcelona on the player. I'm not saying Barcelona told him to behave that way, but I'm saying that if Barcelona decides that they want you, hook or crook and at all costs, and they're already putting up a certain posture against the club, the player himself looks at that and also wants to emulate the same thing, because or say it's his dream move. He wants to move and go and play for Barcelona. Barcelona. But you have a contract that will expire in 2030. So Atletico Madrid has huge leverage over you, the player. You cannot decide to do anything you want. Again, I'm not in support of how the player is behaving. And that will also defy the issue of institutional control over players, which I also don't agree. But there are always ways of going about these issues. There are ways of going about it. So Julian Alvarez didn't have to be antagonistic. He didn't have to come confrontational. It had to be a situation of everybody thought, say, Julian Alvarez needed to make it clear to Simeone. He said he wanted to go and play for Barca. But it wasn't going to be an easy deal to make, because Atletico Madrid don't want to sell the player to their rivals. And they've made an example. In Abrante Fernandez, Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann left Atletico Madrid, went to play for Barca. He came back to come and play for Atletico Madrid. And before he left to United States to go and play, he was viewed as a legend. So, to Atletico, Barca is our rival, number one. Number two, you may go there, and in the end, you may have to come back, or you begin to value where you came from and say, I wish I can go back, or I wish I stayed. Because Simeone has made it clear to the Argentine, when they are both Argentines, you are in my plans, I want you to play. Maybe you may not go to Barcelona this time around, but stay with me. There could be a possibility in the future for you to go for, it could be a better time to move. But to move to Barcelona, there's a caution over there. They are rivals. We don't want them to gain a certain leverage over us when we play with them next season, and it happens that they score us because you moved from our team and we sanctioned that sale. So, unless what we say 120, 130, 150, 200 million euros, they will not collect that money for the player. They're holding firm. If Julian Alvarez wants to move outside of La Liga, I'm sure said they may want to sanction that. Let's go 104. So in Tiana, there was news that Chelsea could enter the race if that is the case, alongside Arsenal. Yeah. And the likelihood of Chelsea submitting a bid, I mean, we don't know that possibility yet. But if a bid is to be submitted, Chelsea will submit something around 100 million euros. 100 million euros, fair deal for Abrante Fernandez, Julian Alvarez. That could be what will be discussed at the negotiation table. But Julian Alvarez himself, I don't think he wants to go back to the Premier League. After playing for Man City, and not really getting, that kind of spark that he really wished he would have got. Me need a person will come back to the Premier League to play for either Arsenal or Chelsea. No, I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. So the scoop, look, I'll give you details as and when they come through. And you're betting Komo guys. Like I said, Rodri, a third bid has been submitted by Barcelona to Manchester City. So I'll give you that. So today, there are so many updates that are going to come. Rodri, potential transfer. Enzo Fernandez, deadline day. Then also Osimhen, possibly to Arsenal from Galatasaray. So these are three stories that we are monitoring intensely today. And I'll give you all of those updates later. Guys, this has been Onside with me, Joshua. Hello, to please subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Maybe I may drop a video. I'll be one of the first people to receive it. And we can have some good fun on this page and get informed on the sports stories as well as the transfer situations. Until I come your way again, I'll see you in the next one.